There is a silent killer that lives in the minds of many people. It does not strike suddenly. It does not make noise. It does not attack from outside. It grows within you quietly, until one day you realize that it has stolen your peace, your courage, your confidence, and your ability to move forward. This killer is overthinking, and its companion is self-doubt. These two are the most patient destroyers of human potential. When I meet people across the world, they tell me, "Master, I feel stuck. I don't know what decision to make. I don't know if I'm doing the right thing." And I always tell them, your problem is not that you don't know what to do. Your problem is that you don't trust yourself enough to act. You see, the mind is a tool, but many of you have made it your master. You have allowed your thoughts to dominate you. You have allowed your doubts to chain you, and you wake up each day thinking you are being careful, when in truth, you are being caged. Overthinking is the art of creating problems that do not exist. The more you think, the more your mind begins to paint stories. Stories that make you afraid. Stories that make you question yourself. Stories that paralyze you. You begin to believe that thinking more means understanding more. But in reality, the more you think, the less you live. Self-doubt grows in the soil of overthinking. It begins as a whisper. What if I fail? Then it grows. What will they think of me? And soon, it becomes a storm inside your mind that tells you you're not good enough, that you're not ready, that someone else could do it better. And so, you stop. You hesitate. You let time pass. You let opportunities fade. You let dreams die. You must understand there is no such thing as the perfect moment. There is no such thing as knowing everything before you begin. Every great master, every warrior, every successful person you admire, they began before they were ready. They moved with courage, not because they had no fear, but because they refused to let fear control them. I remember when I began training in the Shaolin temple. I was young. My body was weak. My mind restless. I doubted myself many times. I thought, I am not strong enough. I cannot do what the masters do. But the monastery teaches you something very important. You learn to act despite the doubt. You learn that the body moves before the mind believes. And once the body moves, once you take that first step, your mind starts to follow. Action kills doubt. Always remember this. The mind can only control you when you are still. But the moment you move, the moment you act, you shift your energy from thought to experience. And experience is stronger than imagination. You cannot think your way to courage. You must act your way into it. The problem with overthinking is that it demands certainty in a world that offers none. You want to know how everything will turn out before you start. But life doesn't work like this. You cannot control outcomes. You can only control your efforts, your energy, your consistency. When you trust in movement, when you trust in the process, you free yourself from the chains of mental paralysis. You begin to understand that mistakes are not signs of failure. They are evidence that you are alive, that you are learning, that you are growing. Too many people believe that if they just think long enough, the fear will disappear. But fear never leaves through thinking. It only leaves through facing. The warrior who stands still, analyzing the battle, will never survive it. The one who steps into it, one breath at a time, discovers his own strength. I want you to imagine this every time you overthink. Every time you doubt yourself, your energy turns inward and begins to suffocate your potential. You start to drain your life force by feeding your fears instead of your goals. You start creating mountains in your mind that do not exist in reality. But the moment you take one single step, your energy shifts from imagination to action, from fear to focus. One action, however small, creates momentum. Momentum creates confidence. Confidence creates belief. And belief destroys doubt. The secret is not to stop thinking. The secret is to direct your thinking. The mind must serve you, not enslave you. So when you find yourself stuck in the cycle of overthinking, do this: stop asking, "What if I fail?" and instead ask. That question will wake up your spirit. It will remind you that fear of failure is small compared to the pain of regret. You must learn to trust the silence within you more than the noise around you. The mind can make things complicated. The heart makes things simple. Your heart already knows what you need to do. It whispers it every day. But your mind shouts so loud that you cannot hear it. Meditation is not just sitting still. It is learning to silence the unnecessary noise so you can hear your inner wisdom. Overthinking is like fog. It blurs your vision. You cannot see where to go, so you stand still. But if you just take a few steps, the fog begins to clear. The clarity comes with movement, not before it. You must trust the process. Remember, the path is not meant to be easy. Life is not designed to give you comfort. It is designed to give you growth. Every doubt is a test of your faith in yourself. Every overthought fear is a mirror reflecting how much you trust your own strength. Do not wait for confidence to appear before you act. Confidence is not the cause of action. It is the result of it. Every time you take a step forward despite fear, you build your inner power. Every time you choose courage over hesitation, you become the master of your own mind. There is a saying, "The mind is a wonderful servant but a terrible master." If you do not train your mind, it will train you. If you do not discipline your thoughts will discipline you. When you start to control your breath, you start to control your mind. When you start to control your mind, you start to control your destiny. Every time you overthink, come back to your breath. One deep inhale, one long exhale. Feel your body. Feel the present moment. You will realize that most of your fears live only in your imagination. Right now, in this very moment, you are safe. Right now, you have everything you need to take one small step forward. You are not supposed to have all the answers. You are supposed to live the questions until the answers appear through experience. So, if you find yourself caught in the loop of self-doubt, I want you to remember this truth. You are capable. You are worthy. You are strong. Not because someone told you so, but because life itself gave you breath, gave you will, gave you time. Use it. Do not waste another day trapped in your head. The mind is not a prison. It is a playground for discipline. You are the observer behind them. You are not your fear. You are the awareness that can transform it. If you truly want to overcome overthinking and self-doubt, wake up each morning and make one decision quickly. Do one thing immediately without hesitation. Speak one truth boldly. Every time you choose action over fear, you weaken the hold of the mind. Your life does not change when you think about it. It changes when you move toward it. Overthinking is a disease of hesitation. Self-doubt is its symptom. The cure is trust. Trust in your breath. Trust in your purpose. Trust in the unseen. There is a quiet power in people who trust their path. They move without noise. They act without needing approval. They know that the world belongs to those who act with clarity, not those who think with confusion. So, stop feeding your doubts. Stop analyzing your fears. Start walking. The path will reveal itself only to those who move. Remember, there are two kinds of pain in this life: the pain of discipline or the pain of regret. The pain of discipline strengthens you. The pain of regret weakens you. Choose wisely. And always remember this truth: your thoughts are not who you are. You are the awareness that can choose which thought to follow and which to let go. when you rise above the noise of overthinking, when you silence the doubt and act with faith, you begin to live as your true self, powerful, peaceful, and free. That is when you stop existing and start living. That is when you stop fearing and start becoming. Because the only thing worse than failure is never trying at all. There is a silent weakness that hides in the comfort of your daily life. It whispers to you every morning when you open your eyes. It tells you, you can do it later. It says, there's still time. And each day, you listen. You believe that tomorrow is guaranteed, that the opportunity will wait, that your dream will still be there when you feel ready. But one day, you wake up and realize that the days you thought you had are gone. You realize that time did not wait for you. That dream, that goal, that strength you were supposed to build, it faded, not because you couldn't, but because you didn't. This weakness is called laziness. Its weapon is procrastination, and its target is your potential. When people hear the word laziness, they think it means doing nothing. But laziness is more dangerous than that. Laziness is not just sitting still. It is refusing to move when your spirit is calling you to act. It is the habit of making excuses sound like reasons. It is the art of justifying your own weakness until it becomes normal. And procrastination is its disguise. It makes you feel safe. It tells you, I'm not lazy, I'm just waiting for the right time. But the right time never comes. There is no perfect moment. There is only now. When I train my students, they often ask me, how do I stay motivated? And I tell them, you do not need motivation. You need movement. Motivation is a feeling. Feelings come and go. Movement is action. Action builds momentum. Momentum creates results. And results feed your spirit. You cannot wait to feel ready before you move. Readiness is born from doing, not from waiting. Every day you delay, your energy weakens. Every time you postpone what must be done, you train your mind to tolerate mediocrity. You teach yourself to live below your potential. Discipline is the bridge between who you are and who you can become. Laziness burns that bridge. Do you know what laziness really is? It is a lack of purpose. When you do not know why you are waking up, why you are working, why you are breathing, you lose the fire. And without fire, the body becomes heavy, the mind becomes slow, and the soul starts to decay. When you have a purpose, you don't ask for motivation. You wake up because something inside you refuses to sleep. Purpose gives energy to your days, clarity to your actions, and courage to your choices. But many people lose their purpose because they get too comfortable. Comfort is the enemy of growth. It makes you believe that being still is peace, when in truth, it is decay. You must understand this comfort is temporary happiness that leads to long-term pain. Discipline is temporary discomfort that leads to long-term strength. You must choose which pain you prefer. When I was in the monastery, there were mornings when my body ached from training, when my mind begged for rest. But the temple does not ask if you feel like training. The bell rings and you rise. The lesson begins. And you move. Because the Shaolin path teaches you something the modern world has forgotten. You do not need to feel ready to do what is right. You only need to begin. Laziness is like rust. It doesn't destroy the metal immediately, but it eats away at it slowly until one day, the blade is dull, the armor is weak, and the warrior is defeated before the battle even begins. Procrastination is how the mind deceives you. It creates the illusion of control. You say, I'll start tomorrow. But every time you say that, you strengthen the habit of delay. The mind becomes comfortable with postponing, and soon it does not even resist anymore. You start to believe that later is the same as now. But later never comes. Every day you delay, your potential fades a little more. Let me tell you something: the universe does not reward intentions. It rewards action. You can dream all you want, but if your feet never move, your dream remains only air. The world does not remember those who said they would try. It remembers those who did. Laziness kills silently because it disguises itself as rest. There is a difference between rest and escape. Rest renews your energy. Escape drains it. Rest is earned through effort. Escape is stolen through avoidance. Ask yourself honestly, are you resting or are you escaping? Recover. Or are you hiding from responsibility? The warrior rests with purpose. The lazy man escapes with excuses. You cannot master your life if you cannot master your mornings. How you begin your day shapes how you end it. If the first thing you do is delay, the rest of your day will follow that energy. So I tell my students, win the morning. Win the day. The first hour after waking is sacred. Move your body. Breathe deeply and take action. The mind will resist, but the body will follow. Once the body moves, the mind obeys. Discipline is not something you are born with. It is something you build one decision at a time. Every day you act despite laziness. You strengthen your inner warrior. Every day you procrastinate, you weaken it. You must see procrastination for what it really is. Fear. Fear of discomfort. Fear of failure. Fear of facing your true self. But remember, the only thing worse than failure is regret. The pain of effort is temporary. The pain of regret lasts lifetime. Laziness makes you a prisoner of your comfort zone. And your comfort zone, though it feels safe, is actually the most dangerous place in the world. Nothing grows there. Nothing evolves there. You cannot discover your strength in comfort. You can only discover it in challenge. So, if you truly want to destroy laziness, you must learn to love discomfort. You must learn to see pain as your teacher, not your enemy. You must see hard work as sacred, not as punishment. Every repetition, every sweat, every failure, it is all a step toward mastery. You cannot meditate your way to discipline. You must act your way to it. Meditation helps you see your weakness clearly. When you feel lazy, remember your mind is not your enemy. It is your untrained ally. You must train it the way a warrior trains his weapon, with patience, with intention, with repetition. Do not wait for motivation. Motivate yourself through movement. When you feel like doing nothing, do something small. Stand up, take a deep breath, drink water, clean your space, move your body. The energy will shift. Laziness thrives in stillness. Action breaks it. Even the smallest step forward is stronger than the greatest intention unfulfilled. Do not underestimate the power of small victories. Each small action is a message to your subconscious that says, I am in control. And soon, you begin to believe it. You begin to act like it. And laziness loses its grip. Procrastination can only exist when there is no urgency. So create your own urgency. Set your own deadlines. Demand from yourself what life will one day demand from you: movement, action, commitment. If you live each day like you have time, you will waste it. If you live each day like it could be your last, you will use it wisely. The truth is simple: time is not promised. Every sunrise you see is a gift. Every breath you take is an opportunity. The question is, what will you do with it? Do not look at others who are succeeding and think they are lucky. They are disciplined. They are consistent. They did not wait for inspiration. They created it. They did not avoid discomfort, they embraced it. If you want to live with strength, you must learn to act when you least feel like it. That is the difference between the average and the great. The average move when it's easy. The great move when it's hard. So, how do you destroy laziness? You don't negotiate with it. You move before your mind has time to argue. When fear whispers, move anyway. Do not think. Do. The more you think about what needs to be done, the more resistance grows. Action dissolves resistance. You must become the kind of person who does not need to be told twice. The kind who does not rely on mood or motivation. The kind who moves with purpose, with clarity, with strength. And one day, you will look back and realize that laziness was never the problem. It was only the symptom of a weak will. And you will smile because you have learned to master yourself. Remember, the real battle is not outside. It is inside. You are not fighting the world. You are fighting your own hesitation. And the moment you win that fight, the world becomes yours. Because once you master yourself, you can master anything. There is a truth many people do not like to hear. Your environment is stronger than your intention. You can have all the discipline, all the dreams, and all the motivation in the world. But if you stay surrounded by negativity, it will slowly poison your spirit. Just as clean water cannot stay pure in a dirty container, your mind cannot stay pure in a toxic environment. You see, energy is contagious. Every word you hear, every person you meet, every place you spend time in it, all shapes your energy. It enters your spirit quietly, without you realizing. Until one day, you wake up feeling heavy, uninspired, drained, and you don't even know why. But it is because you have been absorbing energy that does not belong to you. In the temple, we were taught this simple truth: protect your energy as you would protect your breath. Because once your breath is gone, life fades. And once your energy is corrupted, your clarity fades. You cannot see your path clearly when you are walking through clouds of other people's negativity. There are two kinds of people in this world: those who charge your spirit and those who drain it. Those who lift you when you fall and those who secretly hope you stay down. You must learn to recognize the difference. Not everyone deserves access to your energy. Not everyone deserves to walk beside you on your path. When you spend too much time with people who complain, you start to complain. When you listen too long to people who doubt themselves, you start to doubt yourself. When you stay too long around people who do not believe in their dreams, they will convince you to give up on yours. This is not because they are evil, it is because misery loves company. People who have given up on their own potential will always feel uncomfortable around those who still chase theirs. Your light exposes their darkness. Your ambition reminds them of what they could have been. So they will project their fears onto you. They will call you unrealistic, too intense, too serious. But do not listen. The truth is, they just do not understand your purpose. And you must never let people without vision convince you to close your eyes. If you are surrounded by negativity, you will slowly begin to believe that positivity is foolish. If you live in an environment full of fear, you will start to mistake fear for wisdom. But the spirit knows better. Deep down, your soul recognizes when it is being poisoned. You must learn to listen to that quiet feeling, that subtle discomfort that tells you, I do not belong here. That is your intuition speaking. The environment you keep is the soil of your growth. You cannot plant the seed of greatness in poisoned soil. In my years of training, I have learned that discipline is not only about what you do, it is also about what you avoid. Protecting your peace is a form of discipline. Walking away from negative people is not weakness. It is wisdom. You must have the courage to create distance, not out of hate, but out of love. Love for your own peace, love for your purpose, love for your potential. Sometimes, the hardest part of growth is outgrowing people who are not growing with you. You will feel guilt. You will feel loneliness. But remember, the lotus flower blooms in the mud, not because it stays in the mud, but because it rises above it. If you want to rise, you must stop clinging to what keeps you low. The people you surround yourself with are mirrors of who you are becoming. Look closely. Are you surrounded by people who feed your focus or by people who feed your distractions? Are you surrounded by those who celebrate your progress or by those who envy it? The environment is not only physical, it is also digital. Every post you read, every song you listen to, every video you consume, it all feeds your subconscious mind. Many people wonder why they feel anxious or empty. It is because they are constantly consuming low-frequency content. Gossip, hate, comparison, and fear. If you want peace, feed your mind with peace. If you want strength, feed your mind with discipline. Meditation is not just closing your eyes, it is choosing what to allow into your inner world. The modern world is full of noise, full of chaos, full of distractions. You must be selective. You must be intentional, because the more negativity you allow, the more your focus is scattered. And where focus goes, energy flows. If you give your energy to gossip, drama, and complaints, you will attract more of it. If you give your energy to growth, gratitude, and action, you will attract abundance. The law is simple. You become what you surround yourself with. I remember during my early years in the temple, there was a monk who never spoke. He was always quiet, always calm, always peaceful. One day, I asked him, "Master, why do you not speak much?" And he said, "Because words carry energy, and I do not wish to release poison into the world." It taught me that silence can be powerful when it is chosen with awareness. Sometimes, the most powerful way to protect your energy is to stay silent around those who misunderstand your path. You do not need to argue with people who have not walked your road. You do not need to explain your vision to people who cannot see it. Let your results speak. Let your peace speak. Let your consistency speak. Your peace is your power. But peace cannot survive in chaos. Some people will bring storms to your calm simply because they cannot stand your stillness. Do not try to calm their storm. Protect your calm. It is not your duty to heal people who do not want to be healed. You can inspire. You can guide. You can share. But you cannot carry everyone. Some people must face their own darkness before they can appreciate your light. Detach with love. Bless them and let them go. Because holding on to toxic connections out of guilt will only destroy both of you. Your energy is sacred, and sacred things must be protected, not shared with everyone. When you clean your environment, you clean your mind. When you clean your mind, you clean your energy. And when your energy is clean, your life begins to align naturally. Look around you. Is your environment helping you grow or holding you down? Does your space feel heavy or light? Are your conversations meaningful or draining? Even your room, your workspace, your home, they reflect your inner state. A cluttered space often reveals a cluttered mind. Clean your space and you will feel lighter immediately. Nature teaches us this. Everything grows where it is nourished, and everything withers where it is neglected. You cannot expect your soul to grow in an environment that starves it. If you truly want to rise, you must surround yourself with people who challenge you to become better, not those who make you comfortable staying the same. The right environment will push you to grow even when you feel tired. The wrong environment will make you quit even when you are capable. So choose wisely. Spend time with people who remind you of your purpose, not your past. Listen to voices that ignite your spirit, not those that silence it. Do not fear solitude. Solitude is where warriors sharpen their minds. Solitude is where creators birth their visions. Solitude is where truth becomes louder than opinion. It is better to walk alone in the right direction than to walk with a crowd headed nowhere. The world is full of noise, people telling you what you can or cannot do, what is possible or impossible. But the truth is, no one knows your limits better than your own spirit. So learn to protect your inner temple. Not everyone deserves to enter. There is great strength in quiet withdrawal. When you stop entertaining negativity, you reclaim your energy. When you stop explaining yourself to people committed to misunderstanding you, you reclaim your peace. When you stop tolerating disrespect in the name of love, you reclaim your power. A negative environment does not only destroy dreams, it destroys identity. It makes you forget who you are. That is why you must stay close to people who remind you of your strength. People who push you when you doubt yourself. People who hold you accountable when you stray. People who speak life into your soul, not poison into your mind. You do not need a crowd to succeed. You need alignment. A single positive presence is more powerful than 100 negative ones. Remember, when the lotus grows, it rises from the mud, but it never allows the mud to touch its petals. You must do the same. Rise above, but stay pure. Move forward, but stay grounded. Walk among the noise, but remain silent inside. Because the world outside may be chaotic, but the world within you can remain still. You are not here to absorb negativity, you are here to transform it. Every time you respond to hate with peace, to fear with faith, to doubt with discipline, you purify your own energy. And when your energy is pure, your path becomes clear. Surround yourself with those who make your soul grow, and remove yourself from those who make your soul shrink. It is not cruelty. It is clarity. You owe it to your destiny to protect your energy. Because once you lose your energy, you lose your direction. And when you lose your direction, you lose yourself. So guard your peace. Not with walls, but with wisdom. Not with hate, but with awareness. You are responsible for the energy you keep. You are responsible for the environment you build. Clean your space. Clean your circle. Clean your mind. And then watch your life will rise like the morning sun after a long, dark night. Because once you remove what drains you, you begin to feel what fuels you. And that is when transformation truly begins. There is one truth that separates the ordinary from the extraordinary. It is not talent. It is not intelligence. It is not luck. It is discipline, the quiet, relentless power to do what must be done, even when you don't feel like doing it. Discipline is the bridge between your goals and your results. It is the silent force that carries you through days of doubt, boredom, and pain. Without discipline, dreams remain dreams. With discipline, dreams become destiny. Many people start strong, few stay consistent. The reason is simple. They mistake motivation for commitment. Motivation is the spark. Discipline is the fire. Motivation feels good. Motivation can start a journey. Discipline finishes it. When I train my students, I tell them anyone can train when they are excited. The true warrior trains when he is tired, when it rains, when the mind screams enough. That is when strength is forged, because the body does not grow in comfort. It grows in resistance. Lack of discipline is one of the greatest destroyers of human potential. It does not kill you instantly. It weakens you slowly. Every time you choose comfort over commitment. Every time you say later instead of now, a part of your strength fades. Discipline is not punishment. Discipline is love, love for your future self, love for your purpose, love for your potential. People think discipline is about control. But true discipline is about freedom. When you are disciplined, you are free from excuses. You are free from regret. You are free from the chaos of inconsistency. When you lack discipline, You become a slave to your impulses. You let emotions dictate your actions. You say, I don't feel like it. But feelings are temporary. Purpose is permanent. You cannot build a powerful life if you only act when you feel good. You must act even when it hurts. You must act especially when it hurts. Discipline is doing what you must do, even when no one is watching. When I trained at the Shaolin temple, we would rise before the sun. The air was cold. The ground was hard. The muscles ached from the previous day's training. But the bell would ring, and every monk would stand. There was no debate, no delay, no negotiation with the mind, because the body learns to move before the excuses begin. This is what you must learn. The more you think, the more you hesitate. The more you hesitate, the weaker your will becomes. Discipline is not a matter of thinking. It is a matter of doing. You must learn to move before your mind has time to argue. Discipline is not built in comfort. It is built in discomfort repeated daily. Every repetition, every routine, every act of self-control, it all shapes the steel of your spirit. Consistency is the proof of discipline. Discipline is the fire. Consistency is the smoke that tells the world it's burning. If you want to change your life, change what you do daily. Greatness is not built in a single day. It is built through thousands of ordinary days done with extraordinary focus. You must understand that consistency is not about intensity. It's about endurance. Many people push hard for one day and then quit for a week. But consistency means showing up again and again and again, especially when nothing seems to be happening. Progress hides in repetition. Growth hides in routine. People want results immediately. But mastery is not born overnight. It is born through patience, persistence, and practice. When you are consistent, the universe begins to trust you. It begins to open doors, reveal paths, and align opportunities. Not because you are lucky, but because you have proven that you are ready. But when you are inconsistent, you send mixed signals to the universe. One day you say you want greatness. The next day you sleep in. One day you promise change. The next day you break your own word. And slowly, you begin to distrust yourself. That is the worst consequence of inconsistency, not the lack of results, but the loss of self-trust. When you say you will do something and you don't, your mind begins to doubt your own strength. You stop believing in your own word. And how can a warrior stand tall if he cannot trust himself? So, discipline is not just about success. It is about self-respect. Every time you keep your promise to yourself, you build inner power. Every time you break it, you weaken your spirit. You must learn to treat your word as sacred. If you say you will do it not because someone is watching, but because your integrity is watching. Discipline is not about perfection. It is about persistence. You will fail. You will fall. You will miss days. But what matters is that you stand back up every single time. The difference between the master and the beginner is that the master has failed more times than the beginner has even tried. If you fall 7 times, rise 8. That is discipline. Consistency is not glamorous. It is not exciting. It is often boring. But it is powerful because it creates habits. And habits shape destiny. Your future is built by what you repeatedly do, not by what you occasionally wish for. So, ask yourself, what do you do every day? Not what you plan, not what you dream, but what you actually do. Because your daily actions are your true prayers to the universe. Every sunrise is a new chance to keep your word. Every sunrise is a reminder that discipline is a choice, not a gift. People often ask me, Master, How do I stay consistent when I feel tired? And I tell them, stop asking for it to be easy. Ask to become stronger. Discipline is not supposed to be easy. If it were, everyone would have it. The difficulty is what gives it value. The struggle is what builds character. You do not grow when it is easy. You grow when you push through the resistance of your own weakness. Each morning when you rise early, when you train, when you meditate, when you stay committed to your path despite distractions, that is a small victory. And small victories build great warriors. You must learn to celebrate effort, not just results. Because effort is within your control. Results are not. When you focus on effort, consistency becomes natural. Every time you show up, even when you don't feel like it, you are winning a silent battle inside yourself. In the temple, we had a saying. The water does not cut through stone because of its power. The world does not belong to those who move fast for a short while. It belongs to those who move steadily for a long time. There will be days when you feel nothing is working. Days when progress is invisible. Days when results are distant. But that is when faith is tested. That is when discipline must lead. Because discipline is not about reward, it is about alignment. You do not do it because it feels good. You do it because it is who you are. A disciplined person does not need the world to clap for them. Their peace comes from within. Their reward is the quiet confidence of knowing they did what needed to be done. When you lack discipline, you rely on luck. When you have discipline, you create luck. When you lack consistency, you live by emotion. When you have consistency, you live by purpose. And purpose is what gives life meaning. So, how do you build discipline? You start small. You train your willpower like a muscle. Every time you resist an impulse, your inner strength grows. Every time you choose focus over distraction, your mind sharpens. Wake up at the same time each day. Move your body. Set your intentions. Keep your word. These small acts, done daily, become the foundation of unshakable character. Consistency is not built in one grand gesture. It is built in tiny repetitions. Do not chase intensity. Chase consistency. The man who trains for 10 minutes every day will surpass the one who trains for 2 hours once a week. Discipline is rhythm. It is alignment. It is knowing that what you do today will echo in your future. When you act with discipline, you build momentum. When you act with consistency, you maintain it. And momentum is the energy that makes difficult things seem easy. That is how mastery is born, not through sudden leaps, but through steady steps. You must understand. You are not fighting laziness. You are fighting inconsistency. You are not fighting time. You are fighting your own distractions. Discipline requires patience. Consistency requires faith. You will not always see immediate results, but you must trust that the seeds you plant today will grow tomorrow. Every great oak tree began as a seed that stayed consistent, rooted in silence, patient through seasons. Be like that seed. Stay grounded. Stay steady. Do not stop because progress is slow. Progress is still. Even one step forward is better than standing still. In the end, discipline is not about control over your body. It is control over your mind. It is mastery over the voice that says, I can't. The moment you conquer that voice, you conquer everything. So, if you truly wish to transform your life, build stronger legs. Stop praying for lighter loads. Build a stronger back. Stop wishing for fewer challenges. build more courage. Because discipline is not built in comfort. It is built in the fire of resistance. And consistency is not born in excitement. It is born in patience. Remember, greatness is not something you achieve once. It is something you do daily. And when discipline becomes your habit, you no longer chase success, you attract it. When consistency becomes your nature, you no longer fear failure, you transcend it. So wake up each day, breathe deeply, and remember, the world belongs to those who show up again and again until showing up becomes who they are. Discipline is your true superpower. Consistency is your invisible strength. Together, they make you unstoppable. And when you master both, your mind becomes still, your purpose becomes clear, and your life becomes limitless. There comes a moment in every human life when the noise of the world grows too loud. When the mind becomes crowded, the heart becomes heavy, and the spirit becomes tired. In that moment, something within you whispers there must be more than this. That whisper is the beginning of awakening. You see, all along, it was never the world outside that was your true enemy. It was the habits you carried within, the silent destroyers of your own potential. Overthinking, laziness, toxic influence, lack of discipline, they are not random flaws. They are patterns that form when you forget who you are. And who are you? You are not your fear. You are not your doubt. You are not your circumstances. You are not your past. You are awareness itself, the silent witness behind every thought, every emotion, every storm. But when you forget this truth, you begin to identify with your noise, your pain, your mistakes, and slowly, these habits take root inside you like invisible weeds, choking the strength of your inner garden. This is why awareness is the beginning of transformation. Let us begin with the first habit: overthinking and self-doubt. The more you live in your mind, the less you live in the moment. Overthinking is like standing in a storm and complaining about the wind. It solves nothing. It only drains your strength. When you overthink, you live in illusions. You try to control what has not happened yet. You build fear from imagination, but fear is only powerful when you feed it with attention. You must learn to step back, to breathe, and to watch your thoughts like clouds passing through the sky. You are the sky, not the clouds. The moment you realize this, the storm loses power. You begin to act with clarity instead of hesitation. You begin to move instead of worrying. And that movement destroys the second habit: laziness and procrastination. Laziness is not just physical, it is spiritual. It is the state of forgetting your purpose. When you forget why you wake up, everything feels heavy. But when you remember your why, energy returns. Each morning when I rise, I bow to the day. Not because it is easy, but because it is sacred. Each moment is an opportunity to train, to grow, to serve. When you live with purpose, laziness dies. Procrastination whispers, "Not now." But a warrior knows now is all there ever is. The perfect moment does not exist. Action makes it perfect. Do not wait to feel ready. Readiness is born in action. Now, let us look at the third habit: the negative, environment and toxic influences. Energy is contagious. Every person you spend time with is either feeding your spirit or draining it. The environment you choose either sharpens your mind or dulls your focus. Many people fail not because they are weak, but because they are surrounded by those who celebrate weakness. They keep company with those who complain, gossip, blame, and criticize. Be careful with who you let into your energy field. Not every smile is sincere. Not every friend wishes to see you rise. Some people love you only as long as you stay beneath them. The greatest act of self-love sometimes is distance. You do not need to fight negativity, just walk away from it. Your environment is not limited to people. It includes what you watch, what you listen to, what you read, what you scroll through. The mind absorbs everything it touches. Feed it with poison, and it will grow restless. Feed it with wisdom, and it will become still. Clean your environment, and your mind will become clear. Then comes the fourth destroyer: lack of discipline and consistency. Without discipline, everything collapses. Discipline is the foundation upon which all strength is built. You may have vision, talent, and purpose, but without consistency, none of it survives. Discipline is doing what must be done even when you do not feel like it. But you must act before the mind speaks. If you hesitate, the mind will win. If you move, the spirit will lead. And this is what you must understand: every great transformation begins the moment you stop negotiating with your weakness. The mind will always offer excuses. Tomorrow, I'm tired. I'll start next week. But these are the lies of comfort. The more you believe them, the smaller your life becomes. Discipline is freedom, because the more disciplined you are, the fewer excuses you need. The fewer excuses you have, the lighter your soul becomes. Consistency is the mother of all mastery. Even a single drop, falling again and again, can pierce the stone. So keep showing up, keep training, keep moving forward, even when progress feels invisible. Now, I want you to imagine something. Imagine your life 5 years from now. If you continue with the same habits you have today, will you be proud, or will you regret the time lost, the energy wasted, the dreams that never left the paper? Then imagine your life if you changed. If you became consistent, disciplined, aware, surrounded by positive energy. How different would your world be? You are one decision away from that version of yourself. But decisions mean nothing without follow-through. That is why discipline and awareness must walk together. Awareness gives direction. Discipline gives power. When you combine both, you become unstoppable. The body may tire, the mind may doubt, but the spirit, once awakened, does not quit. To destroy these 4 habits, you must replace them with 4 strengths. Where there is overthinking, bring presence. Where there is laziness, bring purpose. Where there is negativity, bring protection. Where there is inconsistency, bring commitment. That is how a human becomes a master. You must understand, mastery is not about controlling the world. It is about controlling yourself. The one who conquers others is strong, but the one who conquers himself is powerful. Many people are searching for shortcuts, but there are no shortcuts to real growth. The path is walked one step, one breath, one disciplined moment at a time. The world will always test you. Distractions will come. People will misunderstand you. Comfort will call your name, but that is not your path. Your path is awareness. Your path is truth. Your path is self-mastery. When you choose this path, your energy begins to shift. You no longer seek external validation. You no longer compare yourself to others. You stop chasing pleasure, and instead, you seek peace. That peace comes when you align your actions with your purpose. When your thoughts, words, and deeds move in harmony, the universe begins to move with you. This is what people call luck. But it is not luck. It is alignment. Every time you keep your word, you strengthen your energy. Every time you honor your schedule, your body trusts your mind. Every time you say no to distraction, your focus sharpens. This is self-mastery: to live with discipline, with awareness, with courage, and with love. Because love is the root of it all. Why do you practice discipline? Because you love your potential. Why do you protect your environment? Because you love your peace. Why do you take action instead of procrastinating? Because you love your purpose. Why do you silence overthinking? Because you love your mind. Every great habit is born from love. Every destructive habit is born from fear. You must decide which one leads your life. You cannot serve both fear and freedom. You must choose. And if you choose growth, if you choose awareness, if you choose discipline, then your old self will begin to die. That death will feel uncomfortable. You will lose people. You will lose habits. You will lose comfort. But you will gain something priceless, your true self. And that is the greatest victory of all. Do not fear the pain of transformation. Fear the pain of staying the same. Every day you delay, your light dims. Every day you commit, your light expands. So breathe deeply. Straighten your back. Lift your head. And remember, you were not born to be average. You were born to awaken. The same fire that burns in the sun burns in your soul. The same strength that moves mountains lives in your heart. But you must ignite it. No teacher, no book, no master can do that for you. The power is already within you. When you stop overthinking and start doing. When you stop surrounding yourself with noise and start listening to silence. When you stop chasing comfort and start embracing struggle. When you stop being inconsistent and start showing up daily. Then, and only then, you will see who you truly are. You are not fragile. You are not weak. You are not lost. You are simply untrained. Train your mind as you train your body. Train your focus as you train your muscles. Train your habits as you train your breath. Because every time you choose awareness over ignorance, you evolve. And one day, you will wake up not as who you were, but as who you were meant to be. The destroyers will fall silent. The noise will fade. The chaos will calm. And in that silence, you will meet yourself, your real self. Strong, still, free. That is the reward of discipline. That is the power of awareness. That is the purpose of the path. So, I leave you with this. Do not wait for the perfect moment. The perfect moment is this one. Do not wait for someone to guide you. The master you seek is already within. Do not fear failure. Fear wasted potential. And remember, transformation is not a destination. It is a daily practice. Each day, kill one weakness. Each day, grow one strength. Each day, walk a little further toward your truth. When you live like this, there are no bad days. There are only lessons. When you live like this, there are no wasted moments. And when you live like this, life itself becomes meditation. Every breath becomes purpose. Every step becomes power. This is the way of mastery. This is the way of the awakened. And this is the way you were always meant to walk.